Hello everybody, Mothership here. Hoster recently died, so I took over his YouTube channel.
Enjoy the ST review!
What's this set called?
Can you not do that? Oryx's Battle Attire. No, don't wake it up.
Okay, so this is the Oryx's Battle Attire ST set, and as you can see, it looks pretty familiar. We got the Oryx in all of his 16x16 glory. And it's a decent set. We're going to go through the items here and give you some gameplay footage afterward. So up first, we got Oryx's Greatsword, which is pretty decent. It ignores the defensive target, so it armor pierces, which means using it with the Augmer would be silly. It's got really low range though, 2.8 instead of 3.5. So you got to be careful. Only use it in things where you're okay with getting close to your enemy. And also, as we'll go into with the shield later, you might not be able to stun for very long. So you got to make sure that you're safe when you're using this sword. It does have a slightly higher rate of fire though, which means that it does end up doing quite a bit of damage, especially considering its armor piercing. As you can see, past 17 defense, it's better than the Acclaim. And even when you're hitting all the shots in the Pixie past around 35 defense, it's going to be better. So very good in Godlands and things like that, but good to carry a swap out for things like the Lost Halls, either an Acclaim or a Stone Sword or something that's got range. So for the sword, you can see that the shots with the full set on look like this, and they don't go very far. If you're going backwards, I guess they go a little further, but they're kind of cool. They look like sort of like arrowheads or something. And if you take the set off, you get these shots, which are reminiscent of the Stone Sword, but just a little bit lighter looking. Not as cool. I definitely prefer it with the full set on. For the Champion's Bastion, you got the plus 15 defense for 2.5 seconds, which is the big selling part of this thing. So it's similar in use to a Jugg or something, where you use it and you keep it going, and you can see your defense goes up each time you use it. It's sort of an exponential decay function for how much it goes up. So the first time you can see it goes up 15, but the second time it only goes up another 7. So that means that each time you use it, it only goes up a little bit more, and it caps at 95, I believe. If you keep spamming it forever, you can't get past that point. So it's pretty good in terms of that. However, it only stuns for 1.5 seconds, which means that if you're going to be stunning something like Oryx 2, you're not going to be doing a very good job, and you're probably going to get hurt. Also, because the sword has such short range, you got to be really careful with that. It does 385 to 455 damage, which as you can see is slightly more, same number of shots, and it only costs 75 MP, whereas the Colo costs 100. But I would highly recommend using the Colo as a swap out for this set in general, because you do have the partial bonuses for using 3 pieces of the set. You get the plus 5 Dexterity and 15 defense. You just miss out on a bit of HP. So if you swap in something like a Colo or a reskinned Colo, it doesn't affect your stats too much, and you can get that full stunning time, which is really effective on this set, and it allows you to perma-stun, whereas with this shield, you can't really do that because of the limitations on how long the stun lasts. It's really good for rushing, however, so if you're in something like an Abyss, I would recommend this shield because you're generally going to kill things before the stun runs out, and you get that plus defense, which is going to keep you alive for quite a while. However, in the Lost Halls or something, you might want to switch it out for something else, just so that you're actually able to use your stuns and get them off properly. For the Mercy's Bane, it's just an armor. It's really not that special. The only thing is its defense is lower than something like a robe, so you do have to be careful and make sure you've got enough defense coming from other items to use it. We're going to do a little bit of a video on other places that you can use this set, other classes that it's good on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you want to subscribe and hit that bell icon, you can do so. Just keep up with the next videos. Otherwise, looking at this armor, you get plus 7 attack and 7 dexterity, which hugely increase your damage output. So if you're safe and you want to do a lot of damage, it's really quite good to use. And I do highly recommend this armor, especially with other defense boosting items, like the Bloodstone Ring, which gives you plus 4 defense and kind of makes up for a little bit of that armor's loss. However, it only gives you 120 HP. So if you're not using it with the full set, I would generally recommend using a Pyrrha instead, a Ring of the Pyramid, because you're also going to get, for cost of 20 HP, you're going to get 4 attack as well. And in general, on any other class or with any other set, I would recommend using the Pyramid Ring instead. So yeah, Ring's okay, mostly just to complete the set though. all in all, the full set is pretty good. I recommend it in places where you're safer, but you want to do more damage. Things like a Deadwater Docks would be a great example of where to use it. However, I would not recommend it at Oryx 2 or in the Lost Halls just because of the issues with stunning. You can't get those stuns off right, and your range is quite limited. So a 1.5 second stun where you have to get that close and then back out, you're just going to be, frankly, missing out on more DPS than you would have done with something like a Colossus and a Pixie Sword, and you're also going to be at higher risk of dying with a pretty cool set. So that's the set in general. We're going to put on some footage here for you to see. Thank you, Hofster, for letting me review this when he got the items and did all the hard work.
Oh, yeah.
And I will see you guys in more videos now because I'm finally back from Europe and I can make videos again. All right, enjoy the footage.
Something you can see.